Hello and welcome to today's Top Employers Institute webinar. My name is Antonio Argiro, and today I will be your host for this session. So before we begin, a couple of quick notes. So we have AI generated audio and caption translations are available in French, German, Italian, Mandarin, Portuguese, Polish, and Spanish. You just need to click the link that popped up in your screen right about now, and you can select your preferred language in a new tab. We will also have a Q&A session right after the presentation. You can submit your questions anytime using the Q&A button on the right of your screen. Of course, you can also upvote the questions that you like to be answered. So now to the fun part. If your company is already a certified top employer, you may already know that we have our best practices collection, basically our digital global library with cutting edges HR insights and practices. So this webinar brings those practices to life. Today, we are so excited to share with you and highlight a great example brought to you by Links Management and Technology. Please welcome Maria Teresa Cerullo, People Operation and Employee Experience Lead.
Hi, Antonio. Thank you.
Hi, Maria Teresa. How are you today?
Oh, fine, great, thanks. I can't wait to start my presentation.
Perfect. It's so nice to have you here in this fine morning. So, of course, I know you have prepared a presentation for us. So, before we dive into the presentation, I just wanted to ask you. So, what led your team to launch this new initiative? And of course, what were the challenges that you were trying to address?
Thanks, Antonio. As I'm going to better explain in my presentation, the decision to launch this initiative came from a very concrete and growing need with our people operations team. For years, we have been using a mix of tools, some proprietary, some external, but none of them fully covered the end-to-end HR processes. So as a result, we relied heavily on Excel spreadsheets, duplicated data entries across systems, lacked a unified view of each process. It created, as you can imagine, inefficiencies, communication gaps, and made it hard to scale. So we asked ourselves, how can we create a smarter, more integrated system, one that fits our organizational structures, minimize manual work, and support data-driven decisions? That's why we decided to design our Jarvis, that is a custom-built HRMS platform using the Microsoft 365 suite and ecosystem as our foundation. So I will. Okay, great. I would like to start by introducing Links Group and the scope of us. Founded in Lecce in 1999, Links has grown steadily over the past 2 decades to become a leading IT consulting company in Italy. Today, Links is the parent company of 6 specialized subsidiaries, employing over 900 talented professionals. We have established a strong presence with our offices in Lecce, Bari, Rome, Milan, Sondrio, and a nearshore center in Tirana, Albania. Our diversified group structure allows us to deliver a tailor-made solutions across different sectors. For example, our subsidiary dedicated to banking and finance focused on compliance and core banking modernization, while our energy sector team supports smart grid innovation and sustainability projects. The multi-sector expertise enables us to understand deeply the unique challenges faced by banks, financial institutions, public administrations, telecommunication, and energy companies. At Links, talent drives innovation. This is not just a motto, but a cornerstone of our strategy. We invest heavily in growing our people through the Links Academy, which offers continuous training programs, and Links Innovation Hub, where new ideas are incubated and transformed into market-ready solutions. Our internal competence centers ensure that knowledge is concentrated and shared among experts, keeping our teams ahead in emerging technologies and industry best practices. Our people operation team is composed of about 15 HR professionals who manage the entire process of the employee life cycle, from recruiting the best talent to managing offboarding processes with care and respect. For many years, we relied on a combination of proprietary and external tools. While functional in parts, this patchwork approach was fragmented. We often use various Excel spreadsheets, manually re-entering the same data across systems. This caused inefficiencies, errors, and sometimes confusion around the status of processes. One illustrative example. During recruitment, candidate data was duplicated in different tools. Tracking interview progresses required manual update in shared spreadsheet, and communicating status changes meant sending multiple email or team messages manually. We knew we needed a more integrated, efficient, and automated solution to unify and streamline our HR processes. Recognizing the limitations of existing tools, Links made a strategy decision to develop a custom HR platform tailored to our specific needs. The goals were full integration with existing corporate systems to avoid troubles and data duplication, alignment with our organization structure to reflect real reporting life roles, cost efficiency, so low design, development, and maintenance costs with scalability to go with the business, allowing incremental implementation on new feature without disruption, easy of use, ensuring high adoption rates among all users. Moreover, the platform needed to automate repetitive tasks, enable internal communication workflow, and provide advanced analytics to support decision-making and monitor HR processes in real time. So, we firmly believe that technology fundamentally transforms HR management. Our people operation team has adopted a data-driven decision-making mindset. Evelyn leveraged people analytics to understand employee performances, turnover rate, and engagement levels. We also apply a predictive analytics, analyzing historical data to forecast future workforce trends and proactively adapt our HR strategies. We embrace cloud-based solutions to support remotely and hybrid working models, providing seamless access to HR tools from any location. We keep a close eye on emergency technology trends, such as blockchain for data security and transparency, and AI for process automation and employee experience. Our vision also includes building an employee experience platform that integrates feedback tools, wellness programs, and personalized learning modules, fostering a culture of continuous engagement and development. To meet all these requirements, we developed Jarvis, named as the AI assistant from Iron Man, that's symbolizing an intelligent supportive tool designed to empower our HR teams. Initially conceived as an homemade applicant tracking system, ATS, Jarvis fastly evolved into a comprehensive human resources management system, HRMS. It is a no-code, cost-free and unrestricted platform that we build entirely in-house. Let me walk you through its architecture. Jarvis manages the entire HR process life cycle, from recruitment to onboarding, career development, and offboarding. It uses multiple communication channels, including Microsoft Teams, Outlook, and Forms, to deliver notification and survey. The platform supports various users' roles, including HR managers, staff, department heads, and stakeholders, each with customer access rights. Thanks to the integration with Microsoft 365, we leverage existing company accounts, company organization, and secure authentication mechanism with additional development overhead. We build all necessary databases on SharePoint, effectively using it with a flexible data repository. For example, we created candidate database, interview logs, evaluation forms, onboarding checklists, contract proposal records, and career path trackers. All databases are fully customized with tailored fields, and the candidate ID acts as a unique key to connecting all data platforms. This is an example that you can see. We cut it from Jarvis because we couldn't show the tool for a problem of privacy. So we just cut some part of it. You can see this is one of the features. And this is an example of custom database. Custom database views all stakeholders to access the information relevant to their role, enabling multidimensional and personalized data management, as you can see. We manage permission using SharePoint groups and customized permission levels, ensuring data security and appropriate access. The best practice in this case is to assign permissions to group rather than individual user, just to use permissions level that cannot compromise security and sustainability. The most challenging phase was automating workflows to reduce manual data entry and improve processes efficiency. This is an example of our automatic management that the shared calendar. That's our shared calendar. For example, as you can see, we build flows that automatically send notification to users when the status of a process changes and creates calendar events for upcoming deadlines. This was done by our organization team using Microsoft Power Automate. That's a tool for designing and implementation automated workflows. Best accelerator was the support of Microsoft AI Copilot, which helped us to draft complex workflow based on our input, allowing us to iterate and reiterate faster and avoid starting from scratch. Survey feedback from candidates and employees triggers notification and is automatically aggregated for our analytic review. The survey part is about the onboarding, the offboarding, the candidate experience, and as I told, they start automatic notifications that we receive on our team channels and by Outlook channels. Finally, we developed a suite of dashboards using Power BI to show HR data across multiple domains: internship, recruitment, payroll, salary review, onboarding, offboarding, probation periods, and more. This is an example from the report, we can see about the data analytics from Jarvis. These are people analytics that we use every day just to manage the HR process and better improve all the reports that we need to our strategy in HR. These dashboards provide real-time insights, enable data-driven decisions, and proactive HR management. By using Microsoft 365 tools, we build a fully customized HRMS without writing code and without additional licensing cost. We go on to enhance Jarvis daily. Our immediate next steps include integrating a performance evaluation module to manage annual employee reviews with Jarvis. We just do this at the moment, but we do with another proprietary tool. So we are just trying to integrate it in our Jarvis to make it better and better going on. The second goal to us to improve our Jarvis is expanding integrations with other Microsoft ecosystem apps, such as Microsoft To Do for task management, and LinkedIn, that is the tool that we use to recruiting process. So LinkedIn for candidate profile synchronization and reporting automation. Okay.
Thank you, Maria Teresa. That was a nice presentation. So we have already a couple of questions in our section, but please let me jump in and ask you, what was the reaction and the feedback that you collected from your employees? What was for you, let's say, the main advantage related to Jarvis and its implementation?
Okay, the first reaction our HR team when Antonio, our HR director, told us about Jarvis was wow, because as you can imagine, every HR department hopes to have one only tool, one only ATS that then become an HRMS to manage all the HR processes. So we just, as I told you, had a lot of tools, a lot of sheets, a lot of Excel files. So our HR team, when Antonio told us about Jarvis and showed Jarvis, was a reaction of exciting. And then when we started to use it, to see it, to learn how to use it, we just were very glad because we reduced the use of a lot of tools, and we said finally we can use only one tool and we don't have to insert manually a lot of data, a lot of data entry. So we were just glad and exciting, and today that are just about 2 years that we use Jarvis, we couldn't go back. So that's why we are keep on using Jarvis, and as I told you, trying to improve it better and better, just to complete all the HR process, using more and more features and getting it always better.
Great. Yeah, that would be the dream for every HR, I would say. So we have a question from our audience. How does the automated recruitment process work for candidates? Do they apply on your careers website?
So this is just a feature that we are trying to implement. So we are trying to work to link Jarvis with LinkedIn. That is the tool that we mainly use for the recruiting process. But at the moment, the only step that requires data entry manually is the creation of the candidate. So the candidates can apply on LinkedIn or on our website. We pick all data of the candidate, the job position, the job title, the kind of application, and we manually enter on Jarvis all the candidates' data. So as I told, the candidate ID is the key, the first process. We insert it manually on Jarvis, but it's the only thing that we do manually. Once we insert the candidate on the Jarvis, we can then go on about all the process without inserting next other dates manually. So we just insert the candidate ID, and that's the key, the driver for all the next processes of the candidate when he then becomes an employee.
Perfect. Great. That was very clear. So another question. Seems the audience really like the topic here. So how do you recommend managing the databases to comply with the privacy legislation? This is a very interesting topic, I would say.
Okay, we just manage the databases only, as I told, only the full database is managed only by the HR teams. So we just give the access to Jarvis, but as users, for example, to our colleagues that have to make the technical interview. So they insert their feedback on Jarvis, but they can't access to all data. So we just manage as HR teams the privacy data of the candidates. When we interview candidates, before doing the interview, we make them sign a privacy policy that can allow us of HR to manage the data. So we can only manage the data. Only the HR can access to this part, and that's managed by the signing from the candidate of a privacy policy that we always send to all candidates before the interview. So that's the best way to manage all the data. Only the HR team can view and manage all the privacy data of candidates and an employee.
Great, perfect. Okay, so I would say another question is available for you, Maria Teresa. Our audience asked for your ATS. Is additional M365 licensing required for external candidates?
No, that's not required, because we just have our Microsoft 365 licensing. So we just use it to manage all the process. Our external candidates can come into our conversation by guest. So that's not necessary to create another licensing of Microsoft 365 for the external candidates. We use our licenses of the company, of leads, but the external candidates can use as guests. So they can come in the conversation, they can come in the interview, they can come in the call as guests. So it's not necessary to create an external license for them.
Great, thank you. So this next question is something that we also mentioned during our audit conversation a couple of years ago, and I'm going to display it here. So there were mentions of Copilot as support. In which processes or how did you integrate it?
Okay, we just used the help of Copilot during the Jarvis process, mainly to create the connections between the part that then sends notification. So we just asked the help of the AI to create the links that can send as the notifications from the tool. For example, as I told you, the notifications start in many processes of Jarvis. when we create a new candidate, there's no notification. But for example, when we have to hire a new employee, a candidate that can become an employee, we can send a notification on Teams and by mail to our HR director with all the information of the candidate. And the Copilot helped us to create this flux of notifications that came from the Jarvis and went to Teams and Outlook to send all the information that we need without do any process manually in a second time. So it helped us a lot with this process, with this part. But I have to say that every day we try to make Jarvis better. Our colleague Renato that helped us to create Jarvis with Antonio. Every day we write Renato and Antonio telling we could make this better, we can create this. So it's every day we can do it better and do something more. So it's just very work in process. The Copilot helps us, but also the feedback not from the colleagues that use it every day. So it's really a working process that we make better every day.
Yeah, and what I really liked is that this solution was created basically within the HR department. So even though you are, of course, a company that works in the IT sector, it was nice to see that HR developed this solution within the department. So with the help, of course, of Copilot and other tools, but still impressed me to this day that you managed to create such a great tool and great solution.
Yes, because I think that you can do a thing useful only when you use it. Only the HR can create a tool that fits perfectly with HR needs, because you use it every day, so you understand and know what can really be helpful for you. Maybe I think that is the key of the success of our HRMS Jarvis.
Absolutely, totally agree. So we have a lot of questions, and I'm going through them. So one question that probably interests the audience is what were the first steps that you took to create Jarvis? Because of course, you didn't, as you mentioned at the beginning, you didn't wake up one morning and say, "Oh, we are going to create this platform." But what were the main steps that you took to say, "Okay, let's try to improve our processes"?
Okay, the first step was just to understand our need. So this is our need. What's the better way to do this without ask help to external, to developers, to someone else external? So we just see what's the tools of our Microsoft 365 suite that we can use to make this process better. So we started from the top of the process, that is the recruiting process, the creating of the candidates, and we just decided that the databases of SharePoint, of M365 could be the better way to save all data from candidates. And to that point, it's been, as I told, with the help of Copilot and with the help of the studying now of what the tools can do. So we just started from the creating of the candidate and the databases, and then we saw that everything we do with the HR processes can be done with databases. So we started creating all databases, and then step by step we understand and we tried what can our databases can do and how can it help us with our HR processes. So it's been step by step. It took some time. It's not been so fast and so immediately, but step by step, creating databases and linking all processes, using flows to send notifications, using it. So while we use it, we say, okay, we can improve this part, this process. We did it step by step, and we are keep on doing it step by step, using it. So it's a process. It's a process.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. So another question coming from the audience that has been upvoted. So you told us that no additional licensing is needed, but Power Automate for continued business processes and Power BI does need additional licenses, doesn't it?
Yes, I told no additional licenses for external candidates. So
Okay.
for the HR team to create and to manage this tool, you need to have a Power BI and a Power Automate license. And we just had to buy to take now this kind of license. So I told no external licensing for external candidates. So we can manage the process without creating an external license for candidates that can then become employees. But yes, we need for this tool an additional licensing, but not all the teams had to pick this license. Only Antonio Renato that mainly created it, needed it. For the user part, for the HR user part, there's no need of additional licenses of Microsoft 365.
Perfect. Great. So I'm scrolling through the questions. Yeah, I think on this topic of Power BI, our audience would like to know also if there were some recruitment metrics that are using for the Power BI dashboard. And I will add, is there any new metric besides the ones that probably a lot of organizations already use that you have implemented and so helping you in this process?
So we always we know the importance of the metrics. We knew it before Jarvis, but we always had this kind of data analytics because to us it's very important, and it's something that tells us how is going the company, how is going the HR team. So to us, it's always been important before Jarvis and obviously after. So I think I have to say that we can pick a lot of metrics with Jarvis. For example, on the recruitment part, we can say how many candidates we contacted. For example, by sending an email on LinkedIn or by, I don't know, the referral of a colleague. So we can take all the metrics starting from the contact of the candidate to the hiring of the candidates. So for example, we can say how many candidates we try to pick up on LinkedIn, how many candidates we reach by the phone, how many candidates go on the technical interview, and how many candidates are okay for our technicals, how many candidates are not okay for our technical colleagues during the interview. So how many candidates we go on with a proposal, and how many of them decline the proposal, how many of them accept. So we can say about we contact 100 candidates on LinkedIn, to at the end hire 2 of them. So we have a metrics of all the process. And for us, it's important to understand in the IT field, Antonio, as you can imagine, there is a lot of work of the recruiting process. So we can understand, for example, in which part we have to become stronger. Maybe we have to contact more candidates on LinkedIn, or maybe our offering, there is something to review in our offering because all candidates decline the contract, the proposal, or maybe our colleague are not have to get better their technical interview. So these metrics can speak and can tell us the way to improve the process and in which part we can improve the process. The metrics are in the recruitment process, but are in all the process of the HR in leads, about the diversity, equity, and inclusion processes. In the salary reviews, we can see how many salary review links has moved on in Lecce or in Roma, how many male, how many women. So we can say all the metrics that you can imagine. Jarvis help us to pick all the metrics that you can imagine on the HR processes. For example, about the offboarding, about the onboarding. So we can really have all the answers about this. We can produce a people analytics complete on all the process.
Great. That is impressive, of course. And to introduce our next question, I would like to take on the read of our title for this session. So we mentioned no code, no cost, no limits. So I would like to investigate a little bit about the no cost term, of course, of what you can actually share with us. And I think the next question really helps you highlight what we mean. So the audience is asking, can you please highlight your current cost of running Jarvis, and how does it compare to your previous system? I know that, of course, cost in general for HR is another important topic, but it is interesting, though, to understand what was the change also in terms of cost if compared to the previous system that you had in place.
Okay. As I told, starting this presentation, we used some proprietary tools. So we just tried in the past to develop our ATS, HRMS systems, but the different way was that we are an IT consulting company, so we have a lot of developers in-house. But as you can imagine, using our developer, it's a cost for the company. But in the past, we just try to develop our systems for the HR management and HR processes. But the difference at the moment with Jarvis is that we have one only tool that can allow us to do everything. So in the past, we had costs to for example, develop a system, an ATS that can allow us to track candidates. But the only cost for Jarvis at the moment is the cost of the Microsoft 365 license. That's the only cost, because we didn't involve our developers. We didn't involve external companies. We didn't spend something more to develop and manage the platform, because we in Links, we all have a Microsoft 365 license. So it's just not an additional cost. It's just a cost that we would have the same, no? So we just used it to improve the process. So I can say that there is an additional cost for this because we all have in the company our license. So that's the only thing we use to develop the system. So there are no additional costs, and that's true. That's true. The cost of the time of Antonio and Renato to improve it, but that's something that makes part of our job. So I can say that is an additional cost. I can say that is additional cost the time of a developer, because the developer can work on the project, and if he doesn't work on the project, it's a cost. But the cost of the HR time is just something that we spend to improve the HR processes. So the time and the cost of the time, for example, of Antonio, it's something that can make a spending return, because the team, the HR team, can't spend more time to do data entry. So it's just something that comes back on the cost of the HR. So I can see that there is an additional cost with this platform.
Perfect. Thank you, Maria Teresa. Thank you so much for sharing your insight, and thanks also to our audience for joining and contributing. We will now share a short survey through the link that just popped up on your screen. Please take just 2 minutes to fill the survey, as it will help us also improve. You will also receive a follow-up email with the session recording and also the link to more best practices. So see you next time as we continue to build a better world of work.
Thank you, Antonio.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.